Ladies and gentlemen, it's Thursday, the 1st of April, which means it's April Fool's Day, which can only mean one thing. It wasn't as funny the second time. Anyway, my name is Lawrence Hobbs.
It's fine. That it wasn't funny will be funnier than if it was funny anyway.
Who are you?
I'm Theodini.
And this is why can't I do music good? We fucked it up again. Oh, well, I fucked up the first time. We fucked it up the second time. By far
the worst start.
I might have preferred this start more than any other start we've had so far. This has been so...
the worst start.
Well, yeah, I mean...
objectively.
Nothing
went right.
Well, hold on. That's like saying, like, oh, God, the worst flavour of Jelly Baby is the green one, but it is the one I prefer.
No, it's like going, oh, McDonald's is horrible, disgusting food, but I want a Big Mac. We've all got the cognitive dissonance.
Okay, yeah, I can understand that. I'm going to turn myself down because I'm hot on the mic. I'm hot on the mic, baby. I've also had to minimise all our windows because I was stuttering like a mother stutterer. And can I increase our frame rate? I don't care enough to increase our frame rate. How are you, mate?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. How you doing?
I am pretty gosh darn good. I've had a really good week. It's been an emotionally exhausting week. Like really, really, really tiring. But has been good nonetheless. So you've been in the streams. We've been finishing this track. Oh, don't text me in the middle of a show. Or
Lawrence, would you like to share it with the rest of the class?
Meg says you're well loud compared to Theo. Okay, fine. I'll turn myself down. Should we talk at the same time now? You didn't do it. Oh, you did, but it was delayed. Okay. Okay. So I need to turn myself down. Essentially, is what I'm trying to say. I can. And I'm gonna turn you up as well, mate. I'm gonna turn you up and me down. Brave face in the chat. Don't give me shit, boy. Nice. Yeah. So. Oh God.
Learn your place.
I'm just that sort of person who, as soon as like the sort of impetus of going, calling myself or calling everybody else out, and as soon as someone turns it back on me, I'm like, okay, sorry. Sorry. It's like that meme from. Have you seen that Cuphead meme, where it's showing that flower, and the flower's screaming, and it's like me when I do this thing, and then the flowers are like, oh, and it's me when someone else does that thing to me.
I see.
Yeah. So that is me in a nutshell. So so I've been finishing off this track. I've been mastering, which has been really interesting. And
it's been really interesting to watch.
Yeah, I will agree with you, even though I haven't watched it. It's definitely been one of the. It's weird how every time I start a project, there's this weird like learning curve where more and more people, imagine more and more people will feel left out as the thing goes on, because the further we go into a project, the more technical it gets, and it does it very quickly over the space of 2 weeks. It goes very, very, very technical, and I can imagine lots of people dropping off at that point.
You're putting in 15 hours a week, where a lot of people aren't. Like, because you're forcing yourself to do 3 hours on a weekday, you're naturally someone like me who doesn't have a schedule.
Yeah, we make our own schedules, buddy. I've also the title of this episode is we make our own luck, because it not only is it April 1st, it is also episode number 13. We make our own schedules, we make our own luck.
Good thing it's not a Friday.
Good, thank fuck it's not a Friday. By the way, I had a thought the other day. If I ever get a job where I have an office, like one of those offices that like I have a nice wooden desk, and I do my work at my desk. And if someone were to sit at my desk, they'd have to sit in front of my desk. You know, one of those jobs. Yeah, not one of those cubicle office jobs.
One of those jobs
that doesn't really
you
exist yet.
jump out a window. That's what you're saying.
No. Well, maybe.
That's what I do.
Depends on.
I get the office floor.
Say that again, mate. You broke up.
I said I get the office on the top floor.
Just so you
Somebody
could.
tried to give me that job. Yes, but I want the highest office you can give me.
And make sure the window is open when I get there.
Always.
You just
open.
walk straight into the
Open.
office. You just walk straight into the office, briefcase in hand. You put the briefcase on the desk, open it up, look at it disapprovingly, and then swan dive out the window.
No, first you go into your office, shut the door, you press a little button on your phone, and you say, "Ali, could you hold my calls, please?" And then, calmly, like denim run.
Oh, from IT Crowd.
Make the police are here. Think about inconsistencies in the pension fund. Make them a cup of tea. Show them in.
I love that sketch so much.
It's so good.
So there was a few questions that I had regarding like the mastering process. So for people who are out of the loop, how would you describe the mastering process?
So, if you're building a car,
yeah,
you record everything. You get the chassis together, and with mixing, you're making sure everything works together, and you put the shell on the car. Mastering is buffing the car up and giving it a paint job. The track should already be functional at that point.
That's a pretty good. Yeah, I like that example, that analogy.
Thank you.
You came off with that. Oh, I can't speak. I'm not very good today. Came up with that over the top of your head. Over the top of your head. Off the top. Oh, fuck me. Theo, you Karen. It's your show now, mate. It's your show.
We make our own luck, don't we, Lawrence?
What I was trying to say was, if I got one of those jobs, I would have a new pair of shoes on that desk all the time, just to prove that I would make my own luck. Anyway, back to mastering. So, this is so many thoughts. This is what it's like being inside my brain. It's just like I start one thought and I never finish it. But back to mastering. I have to say stuff like that to in order to do it. Anyway, back to mastering. Because otherwise, if I don't, then I will continually just go round and round and round in circles. Anyway, back to mastering. Oh, by the way, my latest
Really?
my latest TikTok video is featuring Post Malone's Circles. But that's beside the point. Let's get back to mastering.
Let's stay on mastering. So yeah, so when it comes to mastering, all the work should be done. Basically, all you want to do is make it shiny, make it pretty.
Yep.
And yeah, put gas in the tank. And that's really, I didn't come up with that off the top of my head. I had, like, in order to, like, you know that you understand something if you can.
Sorry, I lost you for a second.
Might be smelling. That's right. So it was, I think, yeah, Einstein said, if you can't explain something simply, you don't understand it well enough yourself.
Yes. Sorry, I'm currently having a very playful fight with my girlfriend over the chat for this show. It's really unprofessional, I understand, but it's also really funny. So when I was mastering before, I was literally just going, right, so let's make sure that all the frequencies that should be there are there 100%, and make sure that it's as loud as it could possibly be, with, or at least loud compared to the other stuff that is going to be played next door to. And we used a reference track. Now, this caused us some issues because it meant that if I was to publish the video of it, we would immediately get copyright strike because I'm literally playing someone else's music. But it is a necessary part of the process, right?
Shame. I mean, conceivably, if you were willing to sort of spend some time editing the videos, you could, for bits where you're playing the reference track, distort it in some way or mute it. But I mean, that's a lot. It is a lot of work, but really, like, that's the only way that I can see around it, to be honest.
Well, YouTube, when they flag it as being copyrighted music, they will take the sections and they will ask whether you want them to mute or replace the music with royalty-free music. Like, they will do that for you, but I don't know how good that would be. Like, I don't know what volume they will do that to. I don't know what exact time slots they'll cut it to, so I don't know.
YouTube limits the loudness of things I upload anyway. Everything does to different levels. So, yeah, it's tricky. I mean, the people who are watching your video don't necessarily need to hear the reference track anyway.
But what if the reference track is dope as shit, Theo?
Well, if the reference track is dope as shit, then you can tell them what the track is, tell them it's dope as shit, and they can go and Google it their own damn selves.
Okay, I'll take that.
Like, yeah, and the fact is that who wants to listen to of a song that they might know cut with snippets of a song that's being mastered, cut with pausing and asking questions and fiddling with EQs and stuff?
Hey, are you trying to say that the content of my channel is shit?
What? No, what I'm trying to say is that the people who watch your channel, especially if they're interested in what you master, they're going to understand that the only way that they can watch you master is if you don't break any laws while you're doing it.
Challenge accepted. Watch me rob a bank while I record this song. What?
You know what? I love seeing people murdered. Why wouldn't anyone just do that for me? Because we'll get a copyright strike, mate.
I had a really important question about my track, because after listening to it a million times, I've realised it is one chorus too long. Like, I need to cut out one of the choruses. If I were to bounce the track from the project again with the cut chorus, re-import that file into my mastering project, would I need to then remaster it? Or because all I've done is cut out that one section, should it still be mostly all right?
It should work to the same settings.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, if the chorus you're cutting out is generally as loud as the other choruses.
Oh, one sec. You're gonna have to carry the show for 1 minute, all right, mate?
Okay, cool. Okay, so, bye. What I was going to say, if the chorus that you're cutting out is generally as loud as the other choruses, then it shouldn't make a difference to the overall. I didn't realise he was going to leave the room, to be honest. But if anyone is watching, Meg, if ever you're mastering a track and you have to go back and take something out of it, then don't worry about re-EQing and recompressing. You'll be fine. I'm going to play you. I need a capo. I don't need a capo. I don't really want to get into the news until Lawrence gets, because I've got some stuff to say.
Nice remix. Nice remix. Okay, so I should be able to take my track and then cut it and then bring it back in, yeah?
Should be fine.
Cool. Alrighty. There was another thing we wanted to talk about before we got into stuff like news and such. What was that? Was it? There was two things, actually.
Is it the little bit of
Supplemental music theory.
Yeah.
So let's.
Do you want to do that now?
Yeah, let's do that now. So for those of you who don't know, I'm rubbish at music theory. I'm so bad. Last week, Theo did this really, really good interactive seminar on. It was really good. On music theory, and it really helped me out. And there's like a tiny little bit extra that you need to do in order to round off the knowledge.
It's not even something that I need to do. Like, I can show you this thing, tell you a thing to do with it that will make everything that I taught you last week super easy.
Okay.
And then, like, are you maybe up for a test of it after that? Like following on from last week?
Yeah, we can give a test a go, sure.
Just like a really quick one.
Yep.
But I guarantee you figured out the one you figured it out with sort of last week's technique. I guarantee this is easier. So
don't be so sure, my friend.
Ready?
I am a very special kind of stupid.
Oh man. Oh man. I'm telling you.
Okay, well let me get the shared screen up.
You know, I said it was as easy as counting.
Yes, I do remember you saying it's as easy as counting.
It really is as easy as counting.
Okay. Well, I've got your shared screen up now. We can
see what I'm seeing.
I can see a circle of fifths. I can see some acronyms.
Can you make this out?
Can I make what out?
Can you make out the acronyms here?
Could you move your mouse a second? Okay.
You're not seeing my cursor?
Oh, well, no, I can see your cursor. It's just frozen. Do we need to interact with the PowerPoint at all, or can we just do it from this picture?
No, absolutely not.
Cool, that's fine. Okay, yeah, so, I can see it all.
Great, wicked. So, this is a circle of fifths. It has many, many uses. What I want to show you about is how to use it to figure out where your sharps and flats are in any key.
Right.
So, we're looking at around the top, around this outer circle.
So the beginning of a piece of music, you will see the stave and you will see the clef, and there will be a load of sharps and a load of flats next to it. And that isn't just gibberish. That is the composer telling the performer what key it's in.
Yep.
And that's the one. And this is important because it gives the player information on some stuff they need to be aware of and things they don't have to worry about. And
exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
So the stave here, each of these lines and the gaps in between them represents a different note.
Right.
But they only represent the natural notes. So C natural, E natural. No sharps or flats.
Yeah.
And so you have these hashes and the little beads. I'm sure there's a name for them. To denote. So here, for example, this tells you that you're.
You can't say here, by the way, because I can't see what you're indicating.
Okay. So if we're looking at F, which is
the pink one
to the left. Yep.
Yep.
F would tell you.
Thank God I'm not
up on the stave.
Eh?
So again.
Thank God I'm not colourblind.
So F tells you there's a little flat on the stave.
Yep.
Flat symbol, which is on B, which tells you that you play the notes, but when you get to B, you play it flat.
Yeah.
And it's the same all the way around here.
Mm-hmm.
So if we want to pick a key, let's say, pick one of the keys.
We're going to go with A.
A.
Oh God, that's a difficult one to read from here. Because can you zoom in on your? Oh wait, no, you can't. Hold on. What if
we can.
What if what if I remove this screen share and put it back in? Let's try that. Sorry, it's going blank for a second, and...
Zoomed in anyway.
Okay, thank you.
That's all right.
Screen share, because technology is our friend. Except for when it's not. Oh, I haven't got your screen share on here.
I'm not seeing.
No, I can't. Okay, so do you mind stopping and starting the screen share again?
Sure.
Oop. I have done something stupid, and I don't know what it is. There we go. And then...
Done that.
Okay, so let's see if I can... There we are, shared screen. And I'm going to... There it is, and it's zoomed, and all is well, Theo, all is well. So we can't see you right now, but obviously we know that's going to sort itself out as we go. Because that's what happens.
That's fine. Still can't see my cursor?
I can see your cursor, and I can see it moving around.
Splendid. Right. So you took key A.
Yes. Here. So that has
also mentioned as well. Yeah. I'll also mention as well that this outer ring in here are the keys, separated in fifths, right? They're fifths apart from each other. And on the inner circle is the relative minor.
Okay. So that's cool. So
G major, relative minor.
And the relative minor is F sharp. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So A major, F sharp minor is the relative minor. Now these scales, these keys both use the same notes in their scales, and so they're going to have the same sharps.
Okay.
And we can see. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying okay. Yep.
You just said it.
Yep.
That's fine. And we can see on the save that we have three sharps here. And we know exactly which sharps those are with this acronym here. So you said you know a version of it, Lawrence.
Yeah, so the acronym that I've learned is Father Charles goes down and ends battle, and then the other way for the flats the other way around is battle ends and down goes Charles's father. So it's the same words on each letter. It's just a they're palindromic, which I have a lot of experience with.
Peter pickle pepper.
So Father Charles goes down and ends battle. Battle ends and down goes Charles' father.
Cool. To be honest, I prefer my one. I've got Father Christmas.
Well, you fucking would, wouldn't you? Because you came up with it. You.
Well, it's better. It's a story, man.
So's mine. Father Charles.
Yours is a shit story.
No, Father Charles. He goes down. He ends this fucking battle. Amazing.
Charles.
Battle ends, and then down goes Charles. Yeah, he told them that God didn't like them fighting, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, you got a point."
Yeah, but his fucking head lopped off.
God
doesn't like him fighting.
What do you mean they get his fucking head lopped off? He's a fucking priest.
Fighting in the
Respect for the clergy. Anyway, what were we saying?
Respect. There's a war going on within walking distance of this guy's church. Talk to me about respect.
Right.
Father Christmas gave Dad an electric blanket. That's nice. That's good. Dad needs an electric blanket. Right? He's getting on. Blanket exploded and Dad got cold feet. Oh shit! It's the journey. It's a fun story.
I just realised I forgot to.
Father Charles goes and ends battle, and then the battle ends, and Charles's father comes down.
All right, teacher, teach me. Come on.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you good.
I just remembered that also I forgot to mute the screen share, so we would have got a load of echo for that as well. But it's all right. I've just removed your face for this one, so that we got no echo now, but we can still hear you.
That's always recommended to remove my face. So we'll, so we know that it has 3 sharps, and using this acronym here, we know that those sharps are F, C, and G.
Yes.
So depending on where on this circle your key falls,
So A,
major or minor,
in this case,
all you need to do is count from C. So C has no sharps or flat.
Yep.
G has 1.
Yep.
D has 2.
Yep.
A has 3.
Yep.
Now, and these sharps always come in that order when you're following this.
So it'd be because it's A, it'll be C G D A. Wait, why no B? C D E F G. Oh yeah, it's 5.
Goes around in
goes
fifths.
of course because it's like a fifth. Dumb. So C G D A. There'll be 3 sharps, so that'll be Father, Child, Goes. So there'll be F, C, and G. Those will be where the sharps are.
That easy all the way around. So if you're going around the circle clockwise,
Yeah.
you're counting the sharps.
And if you're going round the minors
up to
sorry, when?
So if you're going clockwise,
Yeah.
you're counting the sharps up until you've got 7 sharps, basically. And if you're going anti-clockwise round it, you're counting the flat. So it's still like either F major or D minor has 1 flat in it, and that flat is B.
So why would a key have flats in it? Is it because it's a flattened key? So because it's an A flat, therefore you'd be counting the flats. Oh, but then there's an F which has 1 flat as well.
No. So if you look, so it's not a flat key unless it starts on a flat note.
Right.
So B flat here has 2 flats, the first of which is B.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if I've answered your question.
Well, the big question I have is how do we reverse engineer this? If I want to write a piece of music, I now know how to do that, but how to assign the key. But if I was given a piece of music and I had the stave in front of me, how do I reverse engineer it easily?
Right. Well, how would you reverse engineer it if you have the stave in front of you, the key signature?
Yeah.
You literally count the sharps and the flats, man.
Okay, so let's say I'm given the one below the one we've just done, four sharps. So we've got 4 sharps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Father Charles goes
and
down.
then you apply.
Father Charles goes.
And those.
Down. But no, because wait, hold on. Battle and
You're looking at the. Ignore everything else.
Yeah.
All you need to look at is the stave here. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
You can see that it has 4 sharps, and you.
Sorry, you're cutting
the
out.
Sharps.
What?
All the way here.
Yeah.
Okay. You can see that it has 4 sharps.
Yeah.
You know that those sharps always appear in order.
Yep.
Following this acronym here.
Yeah.
So if you know that there are 4 sharps, all you need to do is list off the first 4 word that acronym. Father Christmas gave Dad. And that's where your sharps are.
Yeah, but that doesn't tell me what key it's in.
Oh, I see. Right. Well, I mean, I have as a reference. You can. I did start. I did at one point have this thing basically memorized.
Right. So there is an amount of just learning the circle of fifths you have to do.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you look at it, if you look at
Yeah.
the outer circle here,
Well, I guess I could just
you can
count
actually
the.
see.
So if I counted the sharps, Father Charles goes down. I've got the 4 sharps, so I know that if I start at C, I can go, well, C, D, E, F, G, A. Wait, sorry. C, D, E, F, G. There's 1. G, A, B, C, D. There's 2. D, E, F, G, A. There's 3. A,
Well,
B, C, D, E. There's 4, so it's in E.
okay, so like, okay, cursor, yeah.
I can see your cursor and find it increasingly hard to hear you.
Okay.
It's mainly because it's cutting out a lot.
Run. Reduce as can. Quit that. Okay. I'm just going to try and power through it.
Okay.
So you can run through
Oh, that's much better.
here. You didn't want to, if you didn't have the circle of fifths in front of you.
Yeah.
If you look at this acronym, F, C, G, D, A, E, B,
Yeah.
exists that way. And then B, E, A, D, F, B.
Yeah.
Hang on. And yeah. G sharp. C, and then yeah. So effectively, what I started doing, there's probably a more efficient way to do this. I had that acronym in my head, and I knew that on the circle of fifths, those letters started one on the left of the middle C.
Mm.
And so that's how I remembered the thing. As far as being given 4 sharps and just coming up with it, I mean, that really is the best way that I can think of it. If I were to see 4 sharps on a stave, I would know, well, C doesn't have any sharps.
Oh, dude, no, I've worked it out. I've worked out the cheat.
Yeah.
Okay, so you count.
Tell me.
Okay, okay, so you count the number of sharps you have. So for E, it's 4. So and then you could use the acronym. Father Charles goes down. D is the last note you have. So then you go up 1. So let's say G is the key you got. You got 1 sharp. Father, you go up 1 G. Let's say B is the key that you got. You got 5 sharps. Father Charles goes down, and A, you go up 1 B.
Huh.
Does it work?
Well, what do you know?
Does it work for all of them? So let's try E.
Well, what do you know?
Battle ends and. That doesn't work for that one. Let's try A flat. Battle ends and down. Doesn't work for flats, but it does for sharps.
There's probably a way that it will work for flats, but that's really interesting.
Mm.
So for the sharps, then, yeah, I'm just gonna pick. Yeah, that's really. I mean, yeah, you could do that. Do that.
Battle ends and.
For like, I've got it in my head, and I need to print this off.
Oh, there is a cheat. There is a cheat
just
for flats as well.
So that eventually.
So there is a cheat for flats as well. You count the number of flats. Do the rhyme, but for the flat one, battle ends and down goes Charles' father. But then you go back 1 in the rhyme.
Mm.
So if it's E flat, battle ends and then you go back 1 in the rhyme, which is end, 1. Which is E.
So you've just added to the resource that I.
I told you I'm a very special kind of stupid.
So
For the purposes of the quality of the stream, shall we turn the screen share off? Because I think that we've got to this point. Let's go back to the...
I'll finish off that. But yeah, I'd recommend...
Oh, it's good to see your face again,
this graphic. Yeah, I can send that graphic to you.
That'd be amazing if you could. Yeah,
with your notes on it.
Thanks, man. You're a good friend.
I told you
it's
as easy as counting.
Yeah, it is as easy as counting. Yeah, like in fact, counting is almost more difficult because counting you still have to remember the sequence. Whereas, like, there's no acronym for counting. It's like there's no rhyme or acronym for remembering numbers. It's like one is 1, 2 is 2, 3 is 3. Like there's not a 1 over.
You sort of got to have files already.
And, yeah, it's like basic level knowledge, but sorry, I keep burping. That base level knowledge is hard enough as is. Sorry, I've got so much gas going on. Can we talk about Arduinos, please? This
is where we learn that Lawrence had trouble counting.
This is where we find out that Lawrence has trouble doing anything that involves logic, including using the DAW logic. But indeed. So what? Also, we were going to talk about Arduinos.
Yeah. Okay.
You are cutting out quite a bit, so I don't know what we can do to fix that. By the way, I don't know if it's me or you.
You know what? I'm gonna shut down all extraneous tabs. It's gaming right now, so you chewed up the bandwidth.
Say that again. Sorry.
My housemate's gaming right now, so he's probably chewing up the bandwidth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, looks like it.
That sucks.
Well, I've closed down everything I can.
Okay. Well,
right.
We'll push through from here then. Yes, Arduinos.
Arduinos. Right. So when we started this call, before we started the show, I was saying to you how I was getting more and more excited about this Arduino MIDI controller project that I've just been sort of playing about with.
Yeah, do you want to talk about that real quickly?
Yeah, so Lawrence and I are on a budget, and but you know I'm sure you find this as well, Lawrence. It's the process of using a mouse and a keyboard when you're trying to make music can really just be not the way that it's not the way that music is made. You don't decide what notes you're going to use by clicking on your arrow roll. You need a keyboard.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit of an odd one when it comes to music because I've learned how to do things the hard way. The hard way seems quite intuitive, but once I know the easy way very quickly overtakes that. So I started off on Fruity Loops, and making stuff on that was blooming difficult. And then I went to Logic, and everything got a hell of a lot easier. And I'm like, why isn't the world like this? And if I was to go back to Fruity Loops, I'd find it fucking impossible again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, Fruity Loops is weird.
It is weird. And don't get me wrong, Fruity Loops is a fine DAW. People who know how to use it, it's almost artistic to watch them use it. Like, it's the equivalent of someone... It's the equivalent of... You know in Art Attack, when he would make a fucking beautiful portrait out of fucking salt... That's exactly yeah. Do you not know what Art
Should have let Neil Buchanan at DAW.
Well, all I'm saying is
which
salt has one use to me, and that is to put into dishes, and that's all I can use it for. But there are some people out there that do fucking science experiments with it, and there are some people out there that make it into art. And all I'm saying is that They create fucking roads with it. There are people out there that can just take these simple things that I can barely use, like Logic or like Fruity Loops, and they go, "Oh yeah, it's easy. Here's a piece of music I made in 30 seconds."
Mm. Oh, I should say for anyone watching, we're talking about FL Studio. It was Fruity Loops over a decade ago when Lawrence and I.
What? It's not called Fruity Loops anymore.
No, it's called FL Studio. It's been FL Studio for a while.
Well, when I downloaded it was called FL Studio, but FL is short for Fruity Loops.
Yeah, it used to be called Fruity Loops.
It's still called Fruity Loops.
It's called FL Studio, man.
No, it's called Fruity Loops. They've just shortened it. That's like saying the USA is not called the United States of America. It's called the USA. It hasn't been the United States of America for a really fucking long time.
Fuck out. Let's sort this out.
Oh, you're gonna
FL Studio.
You're gonna get your big brother Google on me.
Yeah, he's gonna sort you out. My search engine can beat up your search engine.
Yeah, well, your search engine has PTSD from being in Vietnam for too long. It may be able to beat me up, but it's gonna have a much better life afterwards.
At least my search engine can sleep at night.
At least my search engine doesn't hear the screams, the horrible screams. Oh, have I gone too far with this? Have I gone too far with this? What would have been the line here? If I'd started talking about napalm, would that have been too much? Agent Orange and all that stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe. All right. Does anyone know why FL Studio changed its name from Fruity Loops? I remember using Fruity Loops version 3.5, then when 4 was released, the name changed to FL Studio. I've heard 2 potential reasons. The Kellogg's was going to sue them.
What? The Kellogg's was going to sue them? Oh!
They're called... But the thing is, that cereal's called Fruit Loops, and it's spelled with 2 O's.
Yeah. Like,
it's not.
That's
whatever. Or the image line just wanted the program to sound more professional, which sounds like more plausible to me.
Well, you've got I don't know, like it's still got a logo of a fucking Wumpa fruit from Crash Bandicoot.
Yes, but ask yourself this: next to that logo, does it say Fruity Loops or FL Studio?
It says FL Studio, and the FL stands for Fruity Loops.
Okay. But what I'm saying, Lawrence, is if Greg is short for Gregory, but someone calls themselves Greg, you're pretty much going to call them Greg, right?
Yeah, I'm going to call them Greg, but their name isn't Greg. Their name is Gregory.
Are you going to tell someone that their name isn't their name?
I'm going to tell someone that...
I identify as Greg.
Okay, what's on your birth certificate, Theo?
I don't like the name Gregory. Things that happened in my past.
Yeah.
And they're behind me. I didn't write that birth certificate. I didn't agree to it. I am making the best of a bad situation. My birth name is Gregory, but I'm going by Greg because it makes me sound professional. I might get sued by
Kellogg's.
Gregory, by Greg's.
The difference is that Fruity Loops doesn't have fucking feelings. It's made of wires and zeros and ones.
No, but the people who made Fruity Loops, they're like, if we're like, we want to see more professional.
I'm not asking them to be called Fruity Loops. I'm not going to go to the Fruity Loops offices and say, all right, Diana, your name is Fruity Loops now.
Okay, right. How much do you think, how much more do you think, how much better do you think a DAW sell than Logic if Logic wasn't called Logic Pro?
What? No, rephrase the question. Sorry,
so
I don't really understand.
Logic.
Yeah.
You can say, oh, Logic is a DAW, and you can say, but if you say Logic Pro, then it lends more to it because you've got other programs that are not as pro as Logic. So what's it called? GarageBand. Effectively, it looks and acts a lot like Logic Pro.
Yeah.
But it's not Pro. You say, oh no, this isn't GarageBand. This is Logic Pro. And so people go, oh, Logic Pro. So if you have two softwares and one of them is called Fruity Loops and the other one is called FL Studio, which one of them seems to you like it's going to suit your purposes better as a serious musician?
I get that. I just don't like the fact that I'm being told that I'm wrong by calling it Fruity Loops Studio when the FL stands for Fruity Loops.
It's can call it Fruity Loops.
But you told me it wasn't called Fruity Loops. That it was called FL Studio. But that's like saying that JFK isn't called John
Francis
F. Kennedy. It's like saying that. It's because, like, and if you were to, like, what is JFK's name? John.
But then if you're talking to someone, Jonathan.
Johnny boy.
If you're talking to someone,
John F.
if
Kellogg.
you're talking to someone about John Francis Kennedy,
yeah,
then are you going to say John Francis Kennedy or are you going to say JFK?
If I'm talking to John F. Kennedy, I would call him
You can't
John F.
talk
Kennedy.
John F. Kennedy.
He's dead, I know. His brains are all over the back of a car. But the grassy knoll did it. I just... all I'm saying is that if I was to say to go to John F. Kennedy and say, hi, JFK, he'd think I'm a fucking moron. And he'd be right. He'd be right.
You only call him JFK, though. We only call him JFK because he was assassinated, and that made it a big enough topic for us to talk about him. But his name was too long. President John F. Kennedy? Nah.
Anyway, we were talking about...
Just fucking kidding.
This is way off topic now. Let's bring it back. Yeah, Arduinos.
No, all right, so, okay. This was... All I wanted to do was a bit of disambiguation. All I wanted to do was say, for anyone out there thinking, what the hell is Fruity Loops? It's now called FL Studio, so that's what we've been talking about.
Okay.
That's all I... You went and made the whole thing.
I did.
And now we're both upset. So, great job.
Well done, me.
Less than an hour in.
Oh, it feels like fucking 4 hours.
Yeah, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, fuck this. Stream's over. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have you actually put the end screen?
I was tempted to, but I also thought if anyone was watching, they'd tune out.
Right. No, let's not do that.
Yeah, let's not do that.
We tried. You can't do the April Fool's thing 3 times, especially when the second one went so badly.
Oh, the second one was poetry, mate. It was, and it's only poetry because it's been framed by the first one.
Yeah.
And is an exclusive club only for people who watched it live. Anyone who didn't watch it live, for them, it's just a bad joke. Anyone who did watch it live, excellent comedy.
You and I.
Comedy. Yeah. Sorry. Carry
on. So I feel like we'd started talking about Arduino. How did we get onto Fruity Loops?
I don't know. We're talking about DAWs and how to use them and such, and how they're not intuitive and such.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you learn the hard way, and then it feels more intuitive.
Yeah.
But yeah, then you learn the easy way. Well, I would really love a control surface, which is a bit of hardware. You hook up to your DAW and you've got buttons that do things and dials that make stuff happen, and ways that you can interact with the computer without having to use the keyboard and mouse, in a way that feels more like, manipulating a machine than
Sorry, say that last sentence again.
Something that would feel more like you're manipulating an instrument than you're clicking about a door.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the thing is, there are some fantastic looking options, but they're so blooming expensive, and none of them are quite right, because they're designed by somebody else. And So I was looking into, well, like, is there any way that I could build my own? And it was looking. Well, I think first started looking for how to build my own audio interface, and that is a fairly hopeless thing for me, because there's just a lot goes into it, and I would need to know a lot more about electronics and coding than I do.
Right.
But I started thinking like my own controller would be much easier. Boards for it, basically. All you need to do is pin your components and you go. But those just for the boards are about 150 quid.
Right. Okay.
Even without the components to plug into them. And I was reluctant when I saw, you can make it happen with Arduino, because I thought I can't use an Arduino. Like, I can't be learning how to code just in order to be able to make my music without having to use a mouse. Like, that's so much work. But like, looking into it, Arduino has really made it easy to not have to worry about it.
So what is an Arduino?
Right. Arduino is a company based in Italy who have effectively simplified programming and computing. So so you can get microcontrollers, basically little tiny computers, lots of pins in them that can run simple-ish programs.
Yeah.
Right. And what Arduino has done is bought a load of those, and then because without, if you were to just buy this microcontroller, you would need to do a lot of work, and you would need to know what the hell you're doing in order to get it to do anything at all, in order to even be able to interact with it. And what Arduino's done is bought all of those boards off the shelf and put them on their own circuit boards that are connected up in a way that all you need to do is know, where you need to run power, where you need to run the ground. And effectively, they've written a programming language based on C that is just mega easy, does a lot of the work for you, and it really holds your hand along the way.
Right.
So you've got a little board like this with a microcontroller on it, and you can say, I want to plug in a potentiometer to here, and that I want to use that to turn my signal up and down.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also want to put a button in here that when I press it, it plays this note or whatever. Once you've done that, you can interface with the software that you install on your computer, which is
Sorry, say that last sentence again.
It's an open source software. So effectively, you can buy products from different companies, Arduino clones, basically, that aren't made by Arduino. They aren't official Arduinos, but they do exactly the same stuff.
Right.
And obviously that means you can get people developing different things that will work with an Arduino. So it's crazy. You can get like humidity sensors and accelerometers and stuff, just tiny little modules that you can wire in. It's great. And so I am looking into that, and somebody's made a MIDI library, basically, which is just a pre-written piece of code that somebody's already done hard work on, that you can load into your program, and suddenly your Arduino knows how to convert like digital and analog signals into MIDI. And so, it just looks like it's going to be a lot easier than I thought. And if anyone's watching and thinking about something like that themselves, I would really recommend doing some research on it, because there are some really helpful videos. And just the last few days I've been watching them and thinking, every day it seems more doable that I can just throw one together myself.
I know that
really
very
cool.
early on in the process, we were talking about the potential of a modular MIDI controller.
Yeah.
And I found out they exist.
Hmm.
And it's literally you
So you're
buy
talking about the Rolly, like the Seaborn and such.
stuff like that. So essentially, you have these tiny little squares, and each of the squares has a piece of a controller on it, and they just magnetically slot together.
Mm.
They're pretty expensive though, so I don't know. It probably is out of our price range to think of using those.
And well, plus it's probably way out of beyond what an Arduino could do anyway, mate. Probably, and beyond what I could do, definitely.
I'd absolutely beyond what I could do. Like, I'm just a little dum dum over here.
But like, yeah. So,
Oh, thanks for agreeing.
no,
Oh,
but
I'm a little dum dum over here. Yeah, you are.
I think it's an interesting question though, because I've asked you this before.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what would you have if you had your own controller that was? I mean, it might be floor mounted, it might be on your desk, big as you want, small as you want. What have you got? Like, what features have you got? What can you control right there?
So I'm going to go to our messages to read this back because I might have to go really far back actually. So I might not.
Because I know, like you were saying,
conversation for MIDI.
I was thinking more sort of separately from a MIDI keyboard, more like a control surface.
Yes.
If you know what I mean by that.
Hold on. So I can't find it. I think that for me, the biggest one are some of the key combinations in Logic being reduced to one button press.
Mm-hmm.
The one I use the most, like absolutely without a shadow of a doubt, the key combinations that I use the most is starting a recording, stopping a recording, deleting what I've just recorded, so essentially Control Z, and then resetting the marquee slider thing, the timeline, to where I was recording from previously. It's a space. Sorry, it's an R. It's a space, a Control Z, and then a function full stop, and then start again. If I could reduce that to one button press, that'd be awesome.
So firstly, you can actually set Logic to. So you set the marker, you play, you pause it or stop it. Next time you press space, it'll play from that same point again.
But will it record from that same point?
No. So what I would normally do is hit the space bar twice really quickly.
All right.
To get me back there and then record from there. But so in that case, because I was picturing something like
you'll have to repeat that last sentence.
So one that could go around forever.
What?
So I'm thinking about a jog wheel, like a buffer wheel with a rotary encoder, that effectively it can go around forever. And I would use that to sort of jog backwards and forwards through the project. It's clickable, so that can be assigned to the space. So you go right from there, or record. You could scroll up to the bit that you want, press that button, and you get the counted to record.
Oh, that's interesting. So essentially, it would be like, it would be as if there was a cursor on the screen, but using a what's those ball things called? One of those ball cursors. Ball mouse.
A trackball.
That's it.
Mouse.
Yeah. So using
Mine.
What? Show me. Yes. So using one of those, like scrolling left and right would just pull the timeline across, and whatever the timeline is on is what you're selecting. And then going up and down would just select the track.
Yeah.
And so
you
would just yeah.
The shortcut in Logic for moving the cursor back and forth are the comma and false buttons.
Oh, really?
So the ones that the less than and greater than symbols
Oh, that makes a little sense.
on the keyboard. So that's what that does. And so you could just assign one click of this rotary encoder to the left equals one press of this button here. And then clicking in equals record or play or whatever. So yeah, so like effectively there's a lot of scope for, as far as I can see, pretty much anything that you'd want in a control surface. So I'm thinking of like maybe built-in tuner.
That'd be cool.
Though, that maybe wouldn't work. You'd have your guitar, not a MIDI controller.
No.
Make it a
interface.
But yeah, like scribble strips.
Dumb idea, Theo. Sorry, it's gone from being a great idea to being a really stupid idea.
Yeah, I mean, I apologize. I'll see myself out. But like, I genuinely, I was like, last night I was just thinking about it. I was like, oh, I'd have a button to tap tempo, and there'd be a little screen. I don't know. What am I going to use a screen for? Like, because I've got so boxes of kits for the for like microcomputers like the Arduino and Raspberry Pi.
Nerd.
With lots of little components in it, and I've got. What did you say? Nerd. Okay. Sorry, Twitch streamer every day for months.
Hey, I'm not a nerd just because I do that. It just means I'm dedicated. Okay?
Like nerds are. I bet you did your homework, didn't you? Bet you did all your homework.
Yeah, the day before. The night before, cramming it at midnight. What's the percentage again?
Yeah, was the term boffin ever used as like an insult at your school? Like, if you were smart, you were called boffin.
Yeah, and I've noticed it's started to come into the zeitgeist again.
Well, I don't
mean pejorative, do I? I mean as a complimentary term. It just means someone who's smart now.
Yeah, well, I think that's what it used to mean, and then it was claimed by teenagers for a little bit to mean you're smart and that makes you shit.
Well, it's the same as any slur, isn't it? Like it has a genuine like
Jew.
Yeah,
I am a Jew, but don't say it in that tone.
Yeah. So it's just they come from places. Anyway, sorry, you were talking about your nerd kits around. I mean, computers.
Yeah. So there's stuff in here. Like, I've got a bunch of cool little components. So like, I've got those like 9-segment, those Magic 8s displays, right? Different bits of light up.
Oh yeah.
And there's like a little matrix display and a little LCD screen. And I was looking at it thinking, what can I actually, like, what's in here that I would actually want to put in a controller? And I've got a rotary encoder. That looks like about it right now. Apart from, like, a bunch of resistors and stuff, but not actually, not the fun stuff. So I've been trying to think of...
Yeah, this is where it's worth, like, having a notepad that's dedicated to this sort of thought. And then as you're using logic, be like, fuck, this is a ball ache to do. Immediately write it down as something you want for a MIDI controller.
Yeah, definitely. So like, I've just been trying to think of what I would really want, like, and how big I'd want it as well. And I was looking this morning to different enclosures. Like, I wonder whether I'd want to build my own sort of little wooden box to house it in, or if there's something that is sort of pre-made for this sort of thing that is going to be the right sort of size.
I've got an idea for your LCD screen.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you will actually be controlling MIDI, as in there'll be a keyboard on there as well, right?
As in, oh no. So no, I'm thinking separately from the keyboard, because like a MIDI keyboard is a big thing to set up,
right?
Especially with depending on how many keys you want as well. But it's like each of those keys needs to have to be sprung and to be wired properly and connected to each other to ground. And like, if I've got keyboards, man. Like, and I don't need to add another one on. I just need something that makes it easier for me to control Logic without going, take mouse, take keyboard, like press these two keys and scroll. Like,
so essentially, you're looking to the equivalent of PC to console gaming, from mouse and keyboard to having a controller.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's it.
And will you promise to keep us updated on your progress throughout?
I will,
Yeah.
and I like. This is why I was asking you about what you'd have in it, and
it's
I want
become
you to be-
apparent. Yeah, it's become apparent that I don't really know what a MIDI controller is, though. So I need to do more research myself before I.
So, like, a MIDI controller is anything that sends MIDI messages that's something that can read MIDI messages. So, a MIDI keyboard, it's a MIDI controller, but its main feature is the buttons that you press correspond to different notes. Like, the only difference between the MIDI keyboard and like the drum pads that you'd press, on NPCs and stuff.
Yeah.
Or the pads that you've got on your keyboard in a sort of separate unit. The only difference between them is the buttons used. So this still, like, both of them send MIDI messages, and you can use MIDI messages to communicate in all sorts of ways with your DAW. It's not just about laying down notes. So MIDI, you can tell your DAW to interpret MIDI in whichever way, basically.
Well, I'm always like, whenever you ask me about the MIDI controller, I'm always excited to give you some feedback. So keep doing that. And
yeah. Like, I want you. So you saying to me, you need to just have like a notepad and to be listing things that you'd want your controllers to do as they come up. I'd like you to do the same, because I would like to build, after I've built one for me, I'd like to build one for you.
Okay, cool.
I don't know why. I just want to build one for you.
Sweet.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. It's not weird or anything. I just want to build you a MIDI controller, man.
It's like, geez,
roses are red, violets are blue, MIDI controls are cool. Kisses.
Doobity doobity doo.
Doobity doobity doo. Right, should we talk about some news?
News.
Okay. So let's start off with absolutely the most important topic at the moment when it comes to music news. Hit songwriters are asking pop stars to stop taking credit for songs they didn't write, which I'm absolutely behind.
You bastards, they added.
You absolute cunts. I'm totally behind this. I was looking into this, and the amount of money that a songwriter gets, as in a professional, successful songwriter, like, professional, successful songwriters can't pay rent. Yet they've written some of the biggest hits of the modern era, and they aren't being paid enough to pay rent. Like, I'm looking at the Spotify.
To be fair,
carry on.
Is it possible part of the reason that these big songwriters can't pay rent is because they're living in places where songwriters have to live, because that's where the music industry lives? Places like Nashville, which will naturally be expensive to live in. So, like, I wonder how much it is, like, if they could just in a town, just anywhere, and still be writing songs and making music, and being paid the same amount, whether it would be as much of a problem.
You would have to live in the same place that artists live, because artists and songwriters are all involved in the same industry, so they would all have to live in the same place. So it's unreasonable that a songwriter, even if they pay an exorbitant amount of rent, but it's really, really, really shitty that an artist and a songwriter can live in the same place, have been worked on the same song. One of them wrote it, the other one sung it, and one of them can't pay rent and the other can with the royalties for this song. Like looking at the Spotify numbers, in order to get $1,000, I'm gonna make sure my numbers are correct here before I go ahead and say things that I regret. So
Lawrence
in order
is checking his facts.
checking his facts, he's checking his facts, he's checking his facts, he's licking his back. Lawrence Hobbs is checking his facts because he says stuff he doesn't mean, and he says it with conviction. Sometimes he says lies and he doesn't really mean to, but it's something that's left over from something that his dad used to do when he was younger, and now he's got lots of problems because of it. So in order to make $200,
A bit dark.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was funny. In order to make $200, a songwriter must have their song be played 1 million times.
$200.
$200 to make $2,000 10 million times. Like, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I would have to have, like, I'd have to have like 3 million views a week, 3 million hits a week to be able to pay my rent.
Yeah. So this is the level of disparagement that we're talking about. It's way more than you initially think. Like I can imagine that. Like when I started looking at this, I was like, okay, so they probably get paid what, half, maybe a third of what the artist gets paid, because there's other people to pay, like the producer and the fucking recording studio and the distributor and all that. So a third of what the artist makes, I think, is probably about reasonable. No, it's 13 times less.
It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
It's crazy. Especially when the artists are more often than not a figurehead.
Well, even to the point where, like, there's some songwriters that artists fight over. There's been bitter rivalries between, like, a really good example is Beyonce and Kelly Clarkson had a massive falling out because they both wanted one particular songwriter's song. And that songwriter is going to make diddly shit off of that.
Yeah.
And there's and you know how we were talking about before, how it took 8 songwriters to get the lyrics to Justin Bieber's Yummy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason why there's 8 songwriters is because there's actually only one songwriter. There is one songwriter, and then partway through the process, somebody changes a lyric slightly. They then get a songwriting credit. Partway else, and they're normally a producer, or an agent, or a manager. Somebody who wants a cut of it changes a lyric. So they and then
easy.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit, isn't it? Same as fucking DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled is credited as the artist for a lot of his songs, even though he doesn't do anything except produce. Like, he's not the singer. He doesn't write it. He just turns up, shouts, "We the best music," and fucks off.
Yeah.
And then another one. Now
another one.
Yeah, fucking another one. So
that's not even his. That's Craig David's thing.
Is it?
It's borrowed. Yeah. It's another one. That's Craig David all over.
Did you know that Craig David is a bit shitty as well? I used
imagine so, yeah.
I used to work. Well, this is alleged. Shit, where do all these lawyers come from? This is alleged shittiness. I used to work with Craig David's ex-agent's daughter. So my boss was the daughter of one of Craig David's former agents, and basically he screwed them over on the contract to go over to Sony, because Sony would foot the bill for it. They'd pay the legal fees for the breach of contract. but it screwed him over loads of money. He screwed him over loads of money. But yeah, this is really important because, like, it's because at the moment, artists are currently asking platforms for a bigger cut of revenue. So we've covered on the show before artists coming to Spotify and saying, "Hey, we need some more money because you're not paying us enough," and how SoundCloud are paying money to artists based on how much you stream them rather than just giving them a cut of the pie.
Yeah.
We need to now. The songwriters need some of that.
Yeah.
I'm by the way, this is okay. So I'm gonna head the what's it off of the pass. I'm not saying that songwriters don't deserve a pay rise. Sorry, I'm not saying that artists don't deserve a pay rise. Artists do deserve a pay rise, but the songwriters deserve more of a pay rise. This is very much in the vein of like akin to Black Lives Matter. Songwriters' pay matters. Songwriters' pay matters. Artists' pay also matters.
Everyone's pay matters.
Yes, but my pay matters more. So, yeah, just a really important thing. There's not a lot we can say about it, but I just want to raise awareness of the fact that songwriters are getting a shittier deal than artists are at the moment, and artists are getting a fucking shitty deal. Yeah, especially when especially considering that the artists that are getting the biggest payout at the moment aren't even the ones that are writing music, and
I mean,
it's crazy.
I've been trying to avoid getting into that.
No, we can, and so the music it's full conspiracy mode right now. Get my fucking foil hat right on. I don't have a foil hat, so here's a picture of Agent, what's his name from Twin Peaks. Yeah, I have. Have you not seen
Cooper from Twin Peaks on your desk?
Yeah, I've got a picture of Cooper and what's his name? What's her name? I can't remember her name. But I've got a framed picture of them, and they just sit on my desk and drink coffee in front of me while I record.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm a fucking weirdo, mate. Yeah, so I think part of the reason why there is so much effort being put into promoting singers that don't write their own music is because there's more of the pie to divvy up. So if I was to write a song and then perform it, and then I got big, then I am the writer and I am the performer. There's less of the pie to give out to the producers and art agents and managers and distributors and stuff. But there's more of it when the artist has had a song written for them. So that's my conspiracy. That's my conspiracy theory. Yeah.
Well, it's a weird thing because it is crazy. So each of the songwriters for Yummy, everyone who came in and changed a line, and then possibly somebody else came in and changed back again, and they both still songwriting credits. So they all got the same amount, regardless of who wrote bulk of the song.
Yeah, but if you've got a producer who's now also a songwriter, got a songwriter credit, they get their producer cut, and they also get a cut of the songwriting. Yeah.
People just be nice. People just be decent.
I'm gonna quote someone that I don't like, just to be fair as well. Kenny Beats, Twitch streamer who I don't like because I don't like his practices when it comes to how he markets himself. He was talking on who's that producer that we both really like?
Pensado.
There's another one, Rick Rubin.
Oh, Rubin.
Rick Rubin has a podcast, by the way, and Kenny Beats was talking on this podcast, and he was saying, like, look, a producer will buy a beat from a beat maker, and then will change a hi-hat sample, suddenly the beat maker is out of a cut because the producer now has a writing credit because they have also written part of it.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, man. It's fucked up. And this is the best. This is the best timeline. Just so you know, this is the best timeline. Like,
you know what? I think it's just like vestigial stuff. So stuff that was never anticipated. Like I don't think anybody 100 years ago would really have had an idea of just how massive the music industry would be.
Yeah.
And so, in fact, I was watching Oh Brother, Where Art Thou last night, and there's the story of the Soggy Boys, and just how they had no idea until the very end of the film that they'd become famous just because they pretended to be a bunch of black guys and sang a song into a gun.
Yeah.
For some money. But 100 years ago, when the first sort of record label started, whenever that was, I can't. I don't think anybody thought, we're going to find people. Well, nobody thought we're going to find people online. Like we're going to discover talents online, and we're going to, we have these massive names that people are going to go absolutely crazy for. Think Beatles, but even more, and so, I think that just things weren't put in place to make sure that things happened fairly, just because I guess they didn't imagine that it would be as big of a thing as it was. Because you can imagine, like, when we first started to record things, I imagine people were saying, people still go out to the opera. They won't want to listen to vinyl. They'll want to go out and see the real thing. And obviously, like now, we can't go out and see the real thing. Having stuff that's not live is a big extent. So I think it's just stuff like, if we had been able to see 100 years into the future and said, at this point it's completely not going to be fair and it's going to be a ridiculous system. But it's just one of those things that it hasn't reformed because things have just been changing too slowly for anyone to go, whoa, we got to change something.
Yeah. Right, we're gonna have to. We're running out of time, so we're gonna quickly move on to the next story.
Okay.
So let's talk about Lil Nas X's Satan Shoes.
Jesus.
Okay, so naturally, the advertisements for this went mental because conservative Christians were like, I can't believe the devil shoes. The devil has shoes.
Devil has his own shoes now.
Devil has his own shoes. First off, there's this controversy over the fact that it contains real human blood, which it may well do.
Yeah, well, I think it's just stupid.
It's a marketing stunt. There were 666 pairs made, and they all sold out in under a minute.
Yeah.
And people are up in arms about it, except especially seeing as he has a Nike tick on it. And Nike have nothing to do with the shoes, so Nike are suing.
Yeah, it's just, I was reading through that. It's just so stupid.
Yeah.
It's just, everything about this is stupid.
Yeah.
So, like, firstly, the putting pentagram on your shoes and the 666 and the Bible verse. The Bible verse on its own would have been fine because it links to Luke 10:18, which says, so he told them, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven, which is meant to be to do with his coming out as gay last year, I believe.
Okay.
And sort of beating his demons. Fine. Cool. Good, even. But the pentagram and the putting 666 on it, it just seems like an emo teenager who just draw pentagrams in his schoolbook.
Well, yeah, it's kind of the whole fixing themselves with the whole emo rap thing, aren't they? Yeah, I mean, putting a pentagram on shoes is not edgy anymore. The music video that sort of promotes these as well is him giving Satan a lap dance.
Yes.
And everyone's up
And
in arms about it. And I'm
pushing him
like,
over
well,
a
hold
stealing
on.
his horns or
Yeah.
something.
Well, he's like, everyone's up in arms about it because they're like, oh, giving Satan a lap dance, that's fucking ridiculous. And I was like, hold on. They're saying it's going to corrupt the youth. But I think you'll find that we used to watch Satan be in a gay relationship with Saddam Hussein, and we were all right.
Yeah.
So
Ridiculously animated as well.
exactly.
But I mean, in fact, if you're gonna do it, why don't put a tick on it?
Yeah, that's the biggest
Who
thing.
decided?
That's probably the dumbest thing, because all you had to
really
do
is.
was put your own brand on there, but you decided to steal someone else's brand. Like Lil Nas X is his own biggest brand. He is not as big as Nike, but he's big enough to sell out 666 pairs of shoes. Unless like these shoes are already sold. Unless because the sneaker turnover trade is huge. Like trading in collectible sneakers is massive. So
Yeah.
maybe that was deliberate, and it was just to inflate the prices after they've already sold them.
That'd be shitty. Well, the thing is that then the people who are the listings have been removed for people who are reselling them. So
Makes them even more rare.
Sorry?
Makes them even more rare.
Yeah, but look, so Joseph Rash of Tennessee, who paid $1,080 for the trainers. Firstly, you paid 10 times more for a pair of knockoff Nikes than you would for a pair of genuine Nikes.
Depends
Stupid.
what Nikes, because there are some
yeah,
Nikes
but
out there that are fucking $5,000.
Still, over $1,000 for a pair of they're pretty ugly shoes.
Yeah, they're fucking gross.
If you ask me, they're ugly shoes, and the 666 and the Bible verse and the pentagram just make them even uglier. So, you'd have to pay me to take these shoes. I honestly, if you offered these shoes for free, I would say no. I don't want them. But ink in the sole. Forget out the blood. Why do you need ink in your fucking shoes?
Oh, is it ink instead of blood?
No. It's ink. An amount of ink and then a single drop of human blood.
Oh, yeah. Because the reason why you'd have, I imagine that he initially said, "I want blood in the soles of the shoes," and they go, "Yeah, we could do that, but after about 30 seconds, it's going to start congealing and look shit, and people are going to complain." And there's probably a health code violation there.
Plus,
so it's like, okay, what about a single drop of blood? Yeah, that's not going to mean anything. Let's do that.
Yeah. Well, like so this guy in Tennessee who paid $1,080 for the trainers says he's worried the conflict means his money will be lost. Dude, your money's already lost.
Yeah.
Paid $1,000 for ugly ass trainers. And then there was a guy, Brian Mackenzie Norris of South Carolina, a long-time follower of the art collective that put out these shoes, said Nike's lawsuit had disrupted his plans to resell the trainers for $2,500 on eBay, which removed his listing. And it's you poor fucking thing.
So do you think
mean these illegal trainers that you bought for over $1,000 and now you want to sell them for more than $2,000? You mean you're not allowed to do that because they're illegal? You poor fucking sausage.
Yeah.
And he's like, I think Nike's lawsuit and their intervention is ridiculous, considering how much damage it can cause to everyday people like me.
No,
like,
fuck off. Fuck off.
You little fucking snowflake. Go away.
I don't like you to use the term snowflake because I think it has too many connotations. You're a cunt, mate.
But you know what? Like I looked at I read it somewhere else as well. But there are people. So who put out a tweet? There was a tweet said, piss. Where is it? I was just looking at it. Governor Kristi Noem. So a governor said that our kids are being told that this kind of product is not only okay, it's exclusive. But do you know what's more exclusive?
The love of Jesus
The
Christ.
God-given eternal soul.
Oh, okay.
Close. We are here to fight for the soul of a nation. I've just realised, like, oh man.
Also, it's so wrong as well. Okay, so coming from a Christian point of view, the love of God and the healing of your soul is not exclusive by the very definition of Christianity. It is literally available to everybody. It's the equivalent of everybody is on the guest list. You just decide whether you want to walk into the club or not. That's how exclusive Christianity is, you moron.
Yeah. But it's like, what I'm just finding really amusing now, I just wish that she'd misspelt soul just once in this tweet.
Yes.
But there was somebody calling for... Oh, what was it? Where are you? Right, so the star took heat from members of the Christian community in the US, including Donald Trump's pastor Mark Burns. Why do we give a fuck? Who described the shoes as evil. The shoes are evil, Lawrence. The shoes are evil.
Hold on. When you say Donald Trump's pastor, because I'm pretty sure Trump doesn't actually go to church, right?
Oh, no,
he's got better things to do on a Sunday than worship somebody.
That doesn't mean that he won't tell you he's got a pastor.
What?
That doesn't mean that he won't tell you he's got a pastor.
Oh yeah. But I'm just trying to make sure that we're on the same page here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like it's a lot. It's like a lot of people will claim to be Christian and then behave completely unchristianly.
Well, mate, there's a lot of people
that
claim
I
to be...
believe that there is a Christian way to behave at all.
Well, I think that there's a lot of people that behave in a Christian way and then don't believe in God. And I'm like, how much crack have you smoked? Like, that's like saying I'm a vegetarian while sucking off a sausage. What?
Behaving in a Christian way, it's backwards, man. Because Christianity took the things we were already doing that were for our benefit, like not killing each other and looking after each other, and it wrote them in the book. And
well, I'm not gonna get onto this debate.
No.
We are a music show at the end of the day.
All I mean is that I don't believe in Christian personality, and
I do. So we'll have this debate another time.
That's fine. Okay. But anyway, Mark Burns described the shoes as evil. South Dakota Governor Christian called for Lil Nas X to be cancelled.
I love that term so much now. I used to hate it.
I hate it, man. It's like, even if you don't like the dude, you don't have the right to cancel an entire person.
It's so funny. It's so funny when people use the term cancel, because I was having a think about it, and before this period of time when we use the word cancel to mean what it does, the only other time that it was ever used was in terms of Christmas. You'd cancel Christmas. That's the only other time when it was used in this context, apart from like the last couple of years. So I find it hilarious because, like, can you imagine that? Like, it didn't. Like, if you were to try and cancel Christmas anyway, you should have known already from being a child and having your parents say to you, "Sorry, Christmas is cancelled this year." You know that isn't possible. So why are you using it now? It's so hilarious, so funny.
Oh man, it's such a baby reaction to have. Just like, I don't like this.
A baby game for babies?
Get rid of it. I don't ever want to see it again. Get this out of my sight. It's like, stop fucking looking at it.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, stop looking at it. I want to look at it.
Yeah, this is the whole thing. So where you live in a society at the moment where if you don't like something, you don't have to have it in your life. You can literally click a few buttons, you never have to look at it again. I have a news feed on my phone. If I don't like what the news is talking about, I can click a button. I never have to look at the news for that particular thing again. If I don't want to hear about this news, I can stop it from coming up on my feed.
We won't tell you about the impending zombie apocalypse.
Exactly. And they're saying, no, that's not good enough. I don't want to not be able to look at it. I want nobody to be able to look at it. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
Shitty, man. So shitty.
Right, let's move on to potentially more rage-inducing news. Justin Bieber addresses backlash over Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. samples on his song Justice.
Okay, so give me the background.
Okay, so Justin Bieber has. I'll give you the news article. Justin Bieber has recently addressed the backlash he received over the inclusion of samples of Dr. Martin Luther King over his new album Justice. Sorry, not new song, new album. The record includes the track MLK Interlude, which features audio of the civil rights leader delivering the sermon "But If Not" at the Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, Georgia, in April 1967. Dr. King's voice is also sampled on the opening track "Too Much." Guess how 2 is spelled?
Really?
With a number. So,
Is this quoting someone?
yeah, "Too Much" is the name of the track, and on the track listing is spelled with a number.
I thought you said, he sampled Dr. King too much. It's like, right, you crossed the line, buddy.
He's also posthumously credited Dr. Martin Luther King as the songwriter on those 2 tracks, which we know he'll not get any money for.
Yeah, but
also because he's dead.
He's only doing it so that it looks like he's thought about somebody else.
So Rolling Stone magazine has called them a jarring musical misstep, and Insider magazine derided the singer's use of Dr. King's speeches as performative, which I agree with. However, Bieber received public support from Dr. King's daughter, Bernice King, on March 18th, the day before Justice's release, for his support and donations to the King Center, which is a little bit more of a step towards good things.
Yeah.
Oh God, this is a sentence that's just fun to read. You ready for this? Speaking to the Bieber Nation Club on Clubhouse yesterday, Bieber spoke about his upbringing in Canada, where he says he wasn't taught about Black history. It was just not a part of our education system. I think for me, coming from Canada, being uneducated, making insensitive jokes when I was a kid, and being insensitive and being honestly just a part of the problem, because I just didn't know better. For me to have this platform to just share this raw moment of Martin Luther King Jr. in a time where he knew he was going to die for what he was standing up for.
In order to make money.
Oh God, here we go. This is the bit that's going to tip you over the edge. Bieber continued by saying that he was willing to endure as much hate by putting. Oh, okay. So I was about to read that wrong. As much hate by putting Dr. King's speeches on the album for the bigger purpose he hopes it will serve in demonstrating what justice looks like. He added that he had intended to amplify the civil rights leader's incredibly touching speech by including it on Justice. So there's a few nice bits and a few shitty bits. We'll start off with the nice bits and then we'll get on to the shitty bits. The nice bits, he's donated to the Martin Luther King Fund. Great. He's been exposing Martin Luther King to a new generation. Bad points. Who the fuck does he think he is?
Yeah, well.
Okay, so I get that not everybody has been exposed to Martin Luther King, but a very large amount of people have. And he's the sort of person who goes, guys, I am the person to bring Martin Luther King to the people. They will listen to me. You might be right, but you shouldn't be doing it, I don't think.
Bringing Jesus to Africa.
Exactly. I can't get behind this totally. I could get behind some of it. I could get behind the charity giving and stuff like that.
Well, yeah. But I'm also, the cynical part of my brain is thinking, yeah, he gave money to charity, but I bet he made sure that it was reported on. I bet he made sure that Bernice King came out and said something.
Also, it screams of they will listen to me, a white guy, talking about black rights because that's my demographic.
Because I'm Justin fucking Bieber.
Exactly.
Yeah, just seems.
It is misplaced.
Seems not genuine.
It is misplaced, and even if it is genuine, it's a little bit mental.
Yeah.
It'd be the equivalent of in some of my music for me to put up some of Greta Thunberg's speech from College Green.
Yeah.
I don't do enough for the environment to warrant making this part of my music. And me just talking about Greta Thunberg in one of my songs and sampling her is also not enough. And even if I was to then donate to a load of charities, probably still not enough. What I need to do is not do any of that and just change the way I live my life.
Yeah. Demonstrate that you give a shit rather than, like, show, don't tell.
Yeah. And if people ask me about it, then I talk about it. I don't make an album about it. Like, although, fucking hell, I have just written a song about a protest that I wasn't involved in. So maybe that's just as bad.
Yeah, it referenced the process that you weren't involved in.
Well,
it was
it's more about
the larger issue.
It was about the issue in general. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I am just as bad as Justin Bieber. Write into my Instagram. The address is top there. Go to my Instagram. Tell me if you think I'm a piece of shit for hating on Justin Bieber for including Martin Luther King's speeches in the album of a white guy who definitely doesn't deserve it, because I'm a guy who is opposed to a bill that I wasn't in the protest for, but I wrote a song about it and I'm about to release it as a single anyway. There's the address. There you go.
And if you are Justin Bieber and you're watching, fuck yourself. You're not welcome.
Well, hold on, Justin. Just calm down. If you want to get involved in this show, just send me a message, and we'll get you on.
On Thursdays.
On Thursdays? No. Thursdays. Justin, if you would like to come here and talk, I'm more than happy to. Because currently this show gets one viewer, and I would love it to have a lot more.
Oh, why don't you just use some MLK quote?
Look, I had this dream once. That's an MLK quote, right? I had this dream once and all my teeth fell out.
Listen to me, fellow Americans.
I have a dream where I'm running on the spot and can't get to where I need to get to.
I have a dream where I'm in class, I stand up, and I'm not wearing any pants.
That's not us. That's not us shitting over MLK, by the way. That's us shitting over people who disparage him.
It's on brand.
Yeah,
you're talking about getting Justin Bieber on the show. We can get him on side. It's like, look, we can
speak.
We can misrepresent people too.
Right.
Push an agenda. People much smarter and more influential than us as well.
Oh, okay. So should we go for a little break and then we'll come back and finish the show.
Sure.
So
do you want to end the call between?
No, we'll keep going because it's been all right for the last few minutes. Yeah. Oh no, wait. We do want to end the call because it likes to unsync at that point, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if you're watching live on Twitch, stick around. We'll be back in a bit, whatever that means.
Back in a minute.
And if you're watching on YouTube, there will probably be a link about now to the next video, which will have the second part of the show. So we'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Stick around. Stick around. Yeah, stick around. Keep sticking around.